This was just in like what felt like the middle of the ocean. Like we could see the beach.
Did they just drop you off a boat?
Pretty much.
Dude, I can't swim. I can't swim. I'm fucking scared of the water. And I was like, I guess I'll go snorkeling.
Oh God.
And I was in a boat, and then everyone jumped out of the boat. I was like, no, I'm just gonna sit here.
I should have did that.
What I did was I put a light. I laid on a life jacket and like looked at a couple fish and was like, no, I'm gonna die. And I got back in the boat.
That's smart.
But I'm never doing that again.
I'm also never doing it again.
Cool.
Me and my brave child got into the water.
Yes.
And as soon as I got into the water, I lost a flipper. And then I felt like I was gonna die immediately. And then I don't know what my body language was doing, but as soon as I turned around to face the boat, the life preserver was flying through the air. And me and my not brave anymore son grasped said life preserver and pulled back onto the boat. I was out there about 20 seconds.
That we will never do that again?
Oh, I've made that pact 50 times today.
I'm with you.
Yeah, never again.
Never again. If you ever feel like you're tempted, just give me a call.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah. But I won't. No temptation here.
Excellent. All right. That's it. That was all of our material.
Is it? I think we're gonna talk. I mean, I don't have weed. I don't have Wi-Fi, and I also don't have.
You don't have weed?
I don't have weed. You have weed?
Sorry. No, of course not.
You made it sound like you had something to tell me.
I would never.
Any of y'all have weed?
Who would have weed?
Okay.
That's illegal, dude.
So?
Definitely don't talk to me after this.
Okay.
Don't.
But I don't have weed, I don't have Wi-Fi, and I'm also suffering from video game withdrawal. Because I brought my Xbox.
The whole thing.
I brought my whole Xbox.
Whole console.
I wish I didn't bring part of it. I brought the whole thing. Look.
It would be weird if you brought part of it.
But maybe I should have, since I'm getting the same use out of it either way. But I brought it thinking I was going to be able to plug it into the back of my television like I do in every hotel room I ever go to, ever. But this one is quite bolted to the wall. Yeah, so there's no HDMI input. I probably would have played Cuphead.
Oh, yeah. How far into it are you?
I'm at the final boss.
Holy shit, dude. That's aggressive. Okay, if you don't know, Cuphead is really hard.
Yeah, Cuphead. I like the really difficult games.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm into those.
Yeah. Did you Celeste?
Okay.
Celeste?
Anybody play Celeste?
Yes.
So I was just on a tour, and somebody on the tour had a Switch, and I just got off the tour like a week ago, and I was watching somebody play Celeste like every night. And it was the most anxious I've ever been.
Yeah, man.
My entire life.
For so many reasons, though.
Yeah.
Celeste it's an exceptional game from the team that made Towerfall. What up, Towerfall? And it is a platformer that this is what I love about Celeste, is it has a narrative that is talking about mental health and struggles with mental health, and it integrates that with the mechanics.
Right.
And it is so rare for games to, other than like shooting dudes in the head because you're killing Nazis or zombies or aliens for 20 fucking hours, this game integrates the mechanics with the story. So like the struggles that you feel in dealing with mental illness and disabilities and that sort of thing, it coincides with how the mechanics in the game work, right? And the different levels that happen. And it blew me away.
I thought it was awesome, but I gotta tell you this, most of the story went completely over my head because I was watching somebody play on a tour bus and I was very high the entire time.
Sure.
So most of the words washed over me.
Yeah.
But the gameplay looked amazing and was giving me heart attacks looking at this person trying to maneuver Celeste through these different
hard as shit.
stages and trying to, because there's only one thing you can do, right? You can just dash or jump in a particular direction. Is that kind of how it works?
No, there are different like mechanics to it, but it's a full complete platformer, and it introduces different different ways of engaging with the world that you have to do as you go along. What I ended up doing, so there are a bunch of assists that you can turn on that help you navigate it easier if you want, which I really appreciate because I think people are at different gaming levels and they want different things out of it, right? I had to play with a bunch of the assists on because I was racing to play it to be able to talk about it on our podcast.
Right.
And even then what I realized with all the assists on was that I didn't have, like, the game teaches you how to play it, but if you have the assist, you can kind of bypass a bunch of that. When you get to the end, you need to learn how to play it all of a sudden because it doesn't actually help you that much to get through it, right? But yeah, man, I highly recommend it. It's amazing. And I'm not a fan of hard games. Like, that is not what gets me going in games, but I love platformers. I
really am into difficult games, and there's been this conversation in gaming about whether or not games that are designed to be difficult should have like an easy mode, and Celeste is one of the first games that really like tried to address that. So like I play games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and like these are things that you really have to get good at to progress through. And there's been a lot of people that be like, oh, there should be an easy mode for newcomers. Cuphead is another one where there is an easy mode, but if you do the easy mode, you don't actually get allowed to progress through the game. So do you feel like games like that should have like a more accessible path for new gamers?
I'm going to say yes, although I don't think that that's a fair catch-all for everything. I think that we should have a range of games for different types of players that want different types of things, and we do, and we're seeing more of that, right? Which is hilarious that people scream and yell about how I'm taking all their games away, which I'm like, it's really not happening, y'all.
Well, they say you're taking all the games away?
Yeah, have you heard that before? I'm single-handedly destroying the games industry.
Just you, like you sit right here.
Yeah.
You're taking all the games?
All 5 feet of me.
Holy cow!
I'm taking them all because I hate them apparently.
So how does it feel to disrupt an entire industry?
Good.
Yeah.
It feels real good. Related to this, one thing I've been thinking a lot is tutorial systems.
Sure.
So like there is, whether games are hard or not is not a criteria of whether a game is good or not, right? And a game being fun is also not a criteria of whether a game is good or not, right? I think that we get different things out of playing games. Like I don't play Dark Souls because I don't get a lot of satisfaction out of it, right? But I will grind the hell out of a platformer because I love those games, right? But I think that having games that don't have tutorial systems that are good, or games that don't bother at all because they're like, oh, you should know how to play this by turning it on, I think can be really alienating if we're trying to create a more inclusive games industry and an inclusive environment for new players to join. So like I know that there's a lot of reasons why tutorial systems are the way they are, but what about rethinking some of that, right? Like creating a space where people who want to come into Dark Souls, for example, can have a space to learn and experiment. And maybe there is. I don't play Dark Souls, sorry. And you can't put that on the internet. But yeah, so like why, so a game like Transistor, for example, that came out a few years ago.
About that.
You don't need to.
Okay.
But it was a game that had no tutorial system, and I did not grow up playing games like that. So I was like, what the fuck is this? I can't even play your game because I don't know how it works. Why would you purposely put up that barrier?
Well, see, what I've noticed with games like Cuphead and Dark Souls...
I'm not talking shit on Transistor, just that part of it.
But the thing with the games that I play that I do enjoy that are more difficult, there tend to be, like, that first area, there is a tutorial system that does teach you the mechanics of the game, but then after that, they expect you, like, there's not much hand-holding after that. So if they teach you to strike and shield block and roll, they're going to very quickly put you in front of a boss that's going to try to smash you in the head with a giant hammer. And if you don't use those mechanics, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that they don't want new people to play. They just want they want you to learn the mechanics, so there's a certain satisfaction in not getting hit in the head with a hammer by that first guy.
Sure. But I do think that there's a bigger conversation here about, like, who do we make games for?
Well, unfortunately, in a capitalistic society, every studio wants to do as well as they can and serve as wide of a market as they can. And like a game like Cuphead, it's a beautiful game. It's a game I often find myself trying to show people just because it's beautiful and the music and everything is just so engaging about it. But also, I show them it and they want to play it, and I get to laugh at them because they die a lot and how hard it is. But I believe that that's something that they had to do because they didn't have much game, right? Like it's a boss rush game. There's not many levels to it. So the way for them to extend the experience of playing this game was to make it really difficult. But ultimately,
limits the audience.
But for a player like me and lots of other people, that makes it more of a satisfying thing when you do progress and get good at it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's the rush of I struggled forever to get through this one area and did it again and again and again. The satisfaction of getting through that is part of the joy of gaming, right?
I was playing Bloodborne.
Or some kinds of games.
And at the end of the DLC, there's this boss called the Orphan of Kaz, which literally like emerges from an alien's uterus. And he's like an old baby, and he's all like buff. And he's like, his weapon is like this placenta that he has. And he just like beats you with his placenta over and over again. And it took me like a month to beat him.
I really love when they use like women's reproductive systems as villains in games.
Yeah,
it's like my favorite thing.
Well, was the placenta the villain? Is that?
Tell me.
I mean, well, actually, Bloodborne is a very morally ambiguous game anyway. It's kind of the game where at many times you can look at yourself as a player character and be like, am I the good guy?
Yeah,
or am I an asshole just running through a town killing strangers? Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
It's open-ended that way. But just the satisfaction I had after killing this strong alien baby man. Fucking incredible.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Killing baby men.
Kill him.
I mean, I kind of like.
Look, if you see an old baby man tonight, you better kill him.
All right.
All right.
This was lovely.
This was fan-damn-tastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Let's hear from Mike and Anita.